Things that I want to talk about today. We have some newbies in the group that have just joined the Mavericks, and the biggest question that we get, or the biggest hesitancy that we get, is transitioning from selling memberships for say like $100, $150 to selling high ticket. And what I like about your story and what you've created with the WBBC is that you were able to um, essentially double the price point compared to anyone else in the market. Can you talk about that just a little bit and kind of go into the psychology of that as well?
Sure. So I don't know where I got the initial idea from, and I'm sure I didn't come up with it, and I'm sure that I stole this. I probably stole this from someone 27 years ago. So just gonna let you guys know that I probably borrowed it from someone, and let me go back to the foundation of why having a high enough price point is important. It's because what you're doing um, is transformational in people's lives. Does everyone agree with that? Add it up, guys, if you agree with that. What you're doing is okay. So in order to do that, um, this is my philosophy. In order to have somebody have significant change, I do not allow a person. Your clients are not skilled in knowing what it really takes to see results. Do you guys agree with that also? They're uneducated in that, right? They're uneducated in that. They don't know that it takes a combination of things, right? And if we allow the end user to dictate what they do or don't do, we're actually setting them up for failure. Does everyone agree with the philosophy so far? If we allow them to dictate what they're going to do when they come into our program, we're actually setting them up for failure. So I didn't allow that. I knew what it took. So I created a package of goods of everything that I knew that it took. And then I assigned a value to those things. And what that allowed us to do years ago was it never became a commodity. They were not able to, because every other program up to that point, they only charged per session, right? And if they're looking at per session, this gym per session, per boot camp workout versus hours, well, I knew that, first off, I knew that the person who ever set up that thing doesn't understand the impact or doesn't have the tools to actually impact people's lives. And they were doing it, they were going down to the lowest common denominator of, if you work out one time, you pay me $10, right? And I knew that would end up costing the gym owner, but more importantly, it would rip off the the person doing the program, right? Because they wouldn't have all the tools. So they're making a decision. It's like you go into the doctor's office and the doctor's saying, well, or the dentist, well, we've got to clean your teeth, then you've got 7 cavities, and then we've got to do a root canal. And you're like, no, 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 we don't need to do that. We only need to do the most inexpensive thing. Like, you're completely unqualified to make those decisions about your life. And this is where, like, if somebody comes to me and wants to hire me as a business coach, it's a package because I know that I'm going to give value. So things like private group, there's a ton of value in the private group if you work it the right way, like we show you. Feedback, meal plans, the app, at-home workouts, and then a set number of workouts, right? All of those things add value. So why not find a way to encapsulate that? And then it's really, really difficult because you're not showing them one. You're not. It's not a commodity. They can't. If someone else offers $10 a session, but you offer a comprehensive package, and you say, I'm going to get you these results because these are all the things that you need, and then you have the cojones to support that, you're light years ahead of that other person. And every gym who's adopted this the right way has made hundreds of thousands of dollars more and have impacted the greater number of people because you're actually giving the tools that they need, and then you're getting compensated the right way that you're able to give them those resources for support. Is everyone follow kind of my philosophy right now? Are you guys all, is it 5 by 5? Everyone agrees with that, or does somebody want to say that and you don't agree with that and you have something to prove? So I did it. When I was coming up with it, and I don't know if I came up with it. I'll just be honest, guys. When I came up with a two-part. It was a two-part question. How can I develop a program that gives the people who take the program the best results possible, and what's needed in that? And then how can I price it in a way and package it that gives an unfair advantage to gym owners that they're finally able to make a living from the program and not dilute what they're doing. So this is another thing, when you add value in a package offering, you reach a different clientele, right? And a higher price point also speaks to a different clientele. And if somebody is going to pay, and at that time it was 75% more than the nearest competitor, 75% more. Do you want people who could pay for it or not pay for it? No, we had a phone call. Unfortunately, Dante and I did the other day with somebody from our boot camp who we said that they could make double off their program, and they thought it ethically was wrong to make double. Who here is of that mindset? Is anyone of that mindset that it's unethical if I charge more and yet I give more and I give amazing results? Is it unethical to make money? Oh, and this is a serious question, guys.
Let's go for triple.
Here's the thing, John. If you could provide the value of that, then why not? And this is where I actually understand. And I was going to jump on this when I was jumping on the call here. I was like, I really want to say this to all the gym owners. Is by having a better business, you have a better community and you provide more value. And you're actually doing a greater service than just teaching people how to move weights. You're teaching people how to find themselves. And so what here, let's think about, yes, I'm going to charge more, but here's what the person's not going to need in their life. Dante, is it okay if I get a little philosophical with this?
Yeah, love that.
Here's what they don't need in their life. If you are giving them the value across the board, what they don't need is they don't need drugs and alcohol. What they don't need, what they're not going to waste time or money on, is bad influences. They're not going to need a therapist. They're not going to need a nutritionist. They're not going to need to go see their doctor that much. Their insurance costs are going to be lower. Their job performance is going to be better. They're going to make a higher income because you get them fitter. So when somebody says to me, I don't believe in charging more, then they absolutely have no idea what they're really doing. Because when we work with somebody and we do it in an ethical way, in a moral way, I just got off a phone call with one of my clients. I was on for 40 minutes. She was only supposed to get 15. I talked for 40 minutes because that was required. And you should, so my wife has her own business. It's my wife is in 67 Whole Foods stores in Southern California in less than a year. She went from one Whole Foods to 67 in 1 year. And she's putting in probably 100 hours a week, maybe even more. And she was really tired one night, and I said this to her. I said, Here's what I knew running a martial arts school, and this is my philosophy that I was taught, and I believe this. And I didn't believe this when I started, and there was an aha moment when I believed that I was a servant to people, is that a great martial artist, a great martial arts instructor, or a great coach is just like a bar of soap. You've done your job when you're used up. And if for my wife to have her business, and by the way, she's in her second round of interviews on Shark Tank, which we never know what might happen with that. She might get Mark Cuban investing in the company. When you operate like that, you should be completely exhausted. If you're not exhausted by the end of the day, you probably didn't give enough. And I don't necessarily mean physically exhausted. It might be mentally exhausted. It might not be that you taught classes, but you taught your people, right? Your job, if you have a team, your job is not necessarily to go out and teach every class. Your job is to go out and teach your team how to teach your class and give and bleed the blood and bleed the same colors of your facility that you affect change. We have the greatest power in our hands to change not only our finances personally or the fitness level of our people, but we have the greatest power in our hands to change the country, if not the world. And you maybe think like, whoa, is Bert Stone today? What is he talking about? I really believe this. I've done this with my martial arts schools. I've done this with gyms that I've worked with. Guys, I helped my former partner, Andy Petronic, launch the Whole Life Challenge. How many people have gone through the Whole Life Challenge up to this point in 5 years? 500,000 people have done the Whole Life Challenge. And you know how many times I felt like I was going to break my mind? There's a saying that we have, Ted knows this and some other people know this, it's called folding the bowling ball. Write that down, guys, folding the bowling ball. It goes back to being like a bar of soap, folding the bowling ball. It's that you're focused so much on figuring out a problem, it's almost like trying to mentally fold a bowling ball, right? So if your team is servicing your clients, then they should be exhausted when they're done. Your team should not, I know this to be true, if your team leaves your facility and goes out drinking and partying with their friends, they didn't bring their A game. You guys agree or disagree with that? If your team is looking for the weekend, if they're looking forward to the weekend for time off, if they're looking forward to their vacation, then they're not right, they're not in mentally where you need them to be to really add value to people's lives. So 12 minutes ago, Dante asked me a question about packages. And it's not a financial thing. It's all of that philosophical stuff. That's what's included when you present a package. Dante, do I need to, is there any area that I was a little bit obtuse on or unclear, or is there anything you want to ask me about any of that?
That was great. We had a webinar yesterday, Birch, and one of the things that stuck with me was that you showed a picture, a before and after picture of a woman, and then you asked everyone, she was probably, I don't know, 50, 60 pounds overweight, and then she made the transformation. And you asked everyone, did she get her money's worth? Did she get her money's worth in that transformation? And I think a lot of people get stuck on feeling the need to sell packages rather than sell the result, the transformation, what you're going to get. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, this is so if anyone's been working with me in boot camp, and this is my philosophy right now, is focus people on the results on the back end, on what they're going to get from it. And then what happens is the presentation that you show them is just the way that it happens, right? What results do you want to have? There's 3 easy ways to do it. Take a photo of them and ask them on your phone. I've already mentioned this before. Take a photo of them on your phone. Have them look at the photo when they're in front of you. What don't you like about this photo? The reason you're doing that is because you want to bring up some pain points. People don't make, by the way, guys, no one makes an intellectual decision. We all make emotional decisions. That car that you bought, that's an emotional decision. That TV that you have, that's an emotional decision. That girlfriend that you have, that's an emotional decision. None of these are logical, right? None of these are logical. We justify it with logic, but they're emotional decisions. So we want people to be emotional because nothing will happen without that. So we want them looking at that photo. What don't you like about the photo? What do you want? What do you want us to work on with you to see change? And then they're going to tell you. Now notice how I'm phrasing that, right? I'm phrasing that to be advantageous to me, but also to get them involved. Again, they wouldn't be in front of you if they didn't want to change. Our job is to get them to change. You have not done your job. You know, Ted is killing it right now. Ted, 86% conversion. 86% of the people understood that you could help them change and believed it, right? That means that only means that 24% didn't believe it. I don't know if we'd ever hit 100. And if we did hit 100, that probably means you should raise your prices, right? Or you're doing something a little bit too slick, right? But, and by the way, congratulations, Ted. Our job is to get them. You have not done your job. If somebody doesn't take out their credit card, you have not done your job. If somebody doesn't take out the credit card, you have not done the job, which means that you didn't tap into their emotion. So take a photo. What don't you like? What do you want us to work on in the 6 weeks with you to see the most change? And how would you feel at the end? Great. I like to take people through a small workout. We have a baseline workout at the end of it. Here's some photos of people who changed with us. Which one do you want to look like? I have 4 photos, 2 men and 2 women. The men's photo there's 2 different there's a good change and then there's a really drastic change, right? I have 4 different people. Which one do you want to look like at the end of this? I want to look like that. Great. Let me show you the package that they got that will get you there. Right? Because here's the thing, guys. It's never about the fine points. It's never about, well, what time do you meet? Like I used to say this. I used to say this across Los Angeles years ago, and it's still true. If somebody really wants to change, or if you inspired change in that person, it doesn't matter if if you said, I only teach this at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I guarantee you're going to lose this weight. You know what? If you inspired the right person and got the right person in front of you that really wanted to change, they would be at your facility at 5 in the morning. Oh, it doesn't match. Oh, you know what? I watched Roseanne at that time. I can't because I go out with my girlfriends on Fridays. Well, either they're not the right person, or you didn't inspire or stir their emotion to really realize something. This is why I like working with people who don't want to lose 5 pounds. I like working with people who want to lose 25 pounds or 50 pounds or 100 pounds. So I get them focusing on the outcome. And then another thing what happens with that is it's called future casting. Who's ever heard the term future casting? Anyone? Future casting, basically I did it in the conversation a couple different ways, right? I'm getting them projected. And I might even go all right, tell me, when I get you in the shape like this person here that you picked out, it was your choice, what outfit do you want to wear when you get in that shape? What's the thing that you've been holding back on? And it's okay, talk to me like I'm your girlfriend. Talk to me like we're getting our nails done. I will literally say that. I'll say that to girls, and sometimes I'll say that to guys also. And they laugh, right? And then so if they don't answer that question, they're not there emotionally. They should not only tell you that, but they should get emotional about it. Does everyone follow about this? What I'm talking about talking about the results, getting that person there. If they can't see the results, first, if they don't have the pain, you don't bring up the pain, they're not going to make any change. And if you don't future cast, or if they don't really paint a vivid picture of what they want to look like, oh, I want to wear this dress I go out with my husband, I want to go to the beach, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, right? If they're not doing that, then they're probably not there as well. And if they tell me, I might paint a picture of them. You want to wear a bikini? What beach do you want to be at? What beach will you be at in this bikini? What color will it be? Will you be by yourself? Will you make heads turn? Do you want to make people jealous? Would you rather have guys looking at you, or would you rather make the girls jealous? Like, I really bring that up. I want to paint that picture. Say, great, this is all you have to do right here. This is the program that person got. You're in. We're going to guarantee it. You're in great hands. And that's it.
So yesterday you talked about Lifeline as well, and you had a breakdown, which was really interesting to see what people really need help with the survey that you generated with about 500 people. Can you talk about one, higher price, higher commitment, and two, what people are really after outside of the emotional stuff, the emotional drivers?
Um, Listen, guys, go to a restaurant and know that the restaurant. I want everyone to just put themselves in this place. Have you ever been to a restaurant where you know that you're probably going to spend $300 for two people? Yes or no? Have you ever been to a restaurant like that? Yes or no? Great. When you go to that restaurant, don't you expect the best? Don't you get in your? I mean, you don't wear sweats to that restaurant, right? You play the part, right, guys? You're playing the part. You expect, oh, and you're there and you're like, wow, this is really what they said it would be, right? So not only does the restaurant have a part in that, it's going to be a great wine service. They're going to have a sommelier. They're going to have someone come over and say, we have these wine pairings, right? They're going to go through it. They're going to talk about how they, like, I go to this place. It's really interesting. Los Angeles. Los Angeles is one of those bougie towns where the more money you make, you look like more of like a bum. Like, to be honest with you, like, I go to this restaurant, I spend about $300. I go in ripped jeans, but the jeans are $600 jeans. I'm a little bit of a tool sometimes, guys. Just to let you know that. But I live in Los Angeles, and don't agree with me, anyone. And everyone else is wearing like flip flops and like really casual, but their outfits are probably like $2,000 outfits. Um, right? So Ted knows it, right? So everyone they're wearing like $2,000 outfits that you couldn't tell if they got it out of the trash bin or if they got it off of a high-end rack. And like there's a wood fire grill, and the presentation is fantastic. I know when I go in there, I'm gonna drop some coin, and I love going there. But I go playing a part. When you know that your people will pay money. Sorry, your people will act accordingly with the price point. They will act accordingly with the price point. Now, you've got to be amazing. And I'm going to take it to something that nobody ever thinks about. Are your bathrooms cleaned every 2 hours? Does your breath smell good? Here's what I used to do when I ran my martial arts schools, guys. We had a shaving kit. I had a shaving kit at my martial arts school, and I would brush my teeth 3 or 4 times a day. I would rinse. I would gargle with soap. I would make sure that I had cologne. I would make sure that that if I had a 5 o'clock shadow, if I got up at 5 in the morning, by 5 o'clock I look a little bit crappy. I would go shave a little bit to look presentable, because I was getting people in my martial arts program for $3,000 to $5,000, right? So I was stepping up, but I was able to sell martial arts uniforms for $200. I could sell, and I got good at selling it, and then I got my staff who were teenagers or 20 years old, they were able to sell $3,000 packages and ask for cash up front. Just put all of it on a credit card. It elevated everyone's game. I actually know this. I know that I know that there was families that a mother worked a second job to pay for her son's martial arts development, because that's how valuable it was. And some people might think that's horrible. No, I love that. You know why I love that? Because I created an environment where people felt victorious. I also created some badass motherfuckers who I trained 4 world champions. It's another thing, guys. Not only did I obsess over the presentation, I obsessed over the quality. Anyone see David Falco's photos here? Anyone see David Falco? Anyone's LV? LV, how much weight have you lost doing my Transform program? How much body fat are you down? 4% body fat in how long? 2 weeks? Week and a half. Great job.
Congrats.
Great job. Dante went through Transform.
Yep.
I obsess over giving an amazing product and then packaging it in a way that's going to pay me, and it's going to elevate everyone's game. So, but you got to believe that you have something. You got to believe that you have something. Some of you guys actually need to reach out to me more. Who right now, I want everyone to be honest here, who right now is on this call and like, I wish I could charge that, Birch, I just don't believe in myself. I want you to be honest. I want you to say me, or how do I learn that, or I think I could, but I never live up. By the way, if you're at $150 a month, you don't believe it. If you're at $150 a month, you don't fucking believe that you're worth it, because you should be charging $400 or $500 a month. So who here, be honest guys, no one's going to talk? What, we're all charging $300, $400 a month? Nice, John. And look, John got somebody to commit to a $5,200 package the other day, like a baller. Well, you guys can reach out to me. It's not part of the of Impact, but fuck, y'all are going to be titans anyway. So why not invest more time? Anyone who's hearing my voice right now, message me privately. Yep, LV, we still got to work on that, LV. You're doing good. You haven't learned everything yet. I'm going to let you know this. If you are an attractive woman who could get great results, yep, Tyrone, I know that. Attractive woman who could get great results, you should be charging $250 to $300 a month.
Rich, can you talk a little bit about competition? I know a lot of the people that we deal with, especially initially, feel that they need to price themselves at rock bottom prices because they're comparing themselves to these big franchises like Orange Theory, where Orange Theory has everything down to a science, like the price, what they're getting revenue per square foot, where a lot of businesses don't have that.
Yeah, it's a completely different animal, and you don't know what to present. And here's the thing. Let Orange Theory take all the people for $59 a month or $99. Let them take all of them. You know what that means? That means that there's another entire pool of people who will pay a lot more or higher ticket people who never want to step in Orange Theory. But this is another thing that you have to think about. Orange Theory is doing a great job of creating a culture. And until we roll out the body hacker culture and the culture of greatness at your facility, you're not going to be able to compete, because all you think that you have right now and all you really have right now are weights and a gym and effort. So it's not become a thing yet. But let them take everyone at $59. I mean, what is Orange Theory? Maybe $150. What's Orange Theory, guys? What's the price? Do you know what that is, Dante?
I think they started like 129 per month.
Great. That's everyone who can afford that price point. Yeah, you know what? Here's what I mean. I would totally position myself completely contrary to them. What's your expertise? Here's what you believe that you don't admit. You believe that they're as good as you. Well, you do if you're priced that way. And here's another thing. The moment that you say my prices are this much, you should actually advertise in your community on Facebook. We are the most expensive, and here's why. You should put out a fucking video like that. We are the most expensive, and here's why. And then you go through the list. And I would say things like nobody could carry our jock strap, and you should have a little bit of balls with it. That's if you're amazing. If you're trying to compete and make $1 million business, and you're off the clock at 9 p.m., you're never going to do that. You should be obsessed with this. I think I haven't seen Ted this obsessed in 2 years. Ted, have you been this obsessed in 2 years? Yeah, but not this. Ted, you might be the first one to hit 100 in a month. Might be. Oh, I'm talking in one location, not two locations. Dante, let's go back to the survey. So I did a survey, and actually, let me read the numbers off because I have the stats here somewhere. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay, here's the stats. Finding. You know what? Um, Dante, do you just want me to go through this part of the presentation?
Yeah. Can you share
All
your
right,
screen?
yeah, hold on for 1 second.
Ted, man, with the numbers you're already hitting, you're well on your way. 100 is within your sights for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, let's do it.
how did I lose you guys? All right, there we are. All right, hold on for 1 second. I've got too many screens open here.
That's nothing new.
Shh, Josh. Okay, here we go. All right, can you guys see the slide? I'm not going to go into slideshow mode. I'm just gonna go through the slides here. So this is the presentation. Best client has the most pain, has the longest journey, has the means to support your lifestyle. All right. We all think that we want people like Rich Froning and I forget this other athlete's name, right? But those people aren't going to pay us money. You need to remove your products must remove the most pain, be a thought out progression, spark people's inner desire, be priced to give value ethically that you can live off of. This person here, they got their value, right, guys? They probably are a living testimonial, right? And this person as well, they worked with us. Pamela lost 25 pounds doing Transform. Start talking about Tim Ferriss. Here's what people want, guys. This is my survey results. 32 people want help with accountability and structure. 27% want food and macros. 22% want planning, meals plans, etc. 15% want workouts. If you're only talking about workouts at your facility, how much of an audience are you talking to, guys? If you're only talking about getting a hard workout. That's it. And I'm going to let you know something here. For number 30, for this one, accountability, this is actually shaped right now, and a majority of what I do with my program right now is psychology. How many gym owners right here are doing the morning ritual? Be honest, the morning ritual. Great, John. LV, do it in the morning. LV, do it first thing, like I said. Okay? Well, if you follow me, if you follow what I'm talking about, if you understand psychology, then you're going to be able to tap into people's emotion better and create better a better connection with them. So the accountability is actually going to be more like psychology. Okay? LV, you just need to wake up 10 minutes early. That's it, LV. Just 10 minutes earlier. I don't want excuses. You want $1 million this year, right, LV? Follow the plan. That's it, 10 minutes. That's all it takes. Okay? John, tell me more about that. It's like an invisible beacon. What is the morning ritual stuff? Love it. It is. Now, if you learn how to teach people that, if you learn how to teach RAS, it's in the modules, I believe. Is it, Dante, is the morning ritual in all of the modules for even for new people like Impact or no?
It's not in the modules. We can add that. It's in the emails that they get when they get started.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in the emails. Just follow that, guys. Just dig back through that, and if you can't find it, somebody on the team here is going to get that to you. But if you learn this, if you learn how to talk to people's inner desires, you're going to build something that they won't have to pay a therapist anymore. They won't have to find another group to be their culture. It'll be your culture. And that's really what you could charge a lot of money for. And I know Ted has a great community at his facility. And Ted, people stay with you at your facility. LV, that's not the morning ritual. Stop saying that. Right, Ted? And they're with you because of the feeling they get. When you understand how to inspire that, and it might not have anything to do with a good workout or a bad workout, then you know how to get into the gray matter of them. And you have to use this power ethically. Don't do it to get laid. Don't do it to cheat on your spouse. Don't do it to scam people. Okay? Don't do it to be don't start sending emails like the Nigerian bank scam people. All right? Anyway, so nice, John. I like that a lot. And you know what? You should mix it up also. You should have other statements as well. So if you're only talking about workouts, first off, you're only talking about 15% of the people. Second, you're not really talking about, let's compare the two, guys. Let's compare a gym membership, like Gold's Gym or Bally's or Planet Fitness or even Orange Theory at $120. Let's start thinking about psychology or a therapist or healing people emotionally, right? How much does a therapist cost? How much does a therapist cost per hour? $125 an hour, right, guys? You want to do good in your community? You want to do good in your community? Tell them to get rid of the therapist, or actually give them a reason not to need a therapist, and then you could really support that price point. This is what I know. If you're at under $200 a month, you're probably not inspiring them emotionally, and you're definitely not doing anything with psychology. You're not in the gray matter. And you're not charging for it, Tyrone, because you're not putting it down in your package. This is one of my, if you know our the body hacker package, that's actually one of our founding things, is that they learn the psychology to never guilt themselves. Has anyone ever done that? If you've seen my videos for body hackers, I actually talk about that. Come into our facility and learn how to move and how to eat so that you will never guilt yourself again. Come in and learn how not to be your own worst enemy. Come in and learn how not to judge yourself ever, instantly. Who did I lose right now? Who have I gone, like, what the hell is Birch talking about? No? Dante, what else do you want me to talk about? I'm bringing my A game today. I was only on webinars yesterday for 6 hours, and I'm bringing my A game again.
Um, I would like you to talk a little bit about um, just understanding value and then what you brought to the table with what people really need. So that biggest percentage was structure and accountability, and what you did with Lifeline that kind of corresponds with that, and how gyms can utilize that information in their own facility.
Yeah, there's people are paying me up to $100 a month. They're not in my city, and they're paying for accountability because I told people, and I knew that, and I just had to create something that they wanted. I used the Tim Ferriss approach. I'm going to go into the Tim Ferriss part of the presentation. Tim Ferriss spent $5,000 developing a product that he thought that his audience would want. He marketed it, and he made 50 bucks. What was the problem there? Well, he spent money before he knew if there was a market. So then he said, well, I feel stupid. So why don't I see what the audience wants, and then I'll develop a product based on what they want. So he went out and he put up a bunch of flyers on his college campus for speed reading, and he charged like 50 bucks a person. And in like 2 days, he was sold out. He had like a little tear off. You guys know how you do that? Like you see that at Starbucks, like you could tear something off and call someone, right? Everyone see that, right, guys? He did that with, and then the seminar that he was teaching wasn't for 2 weeks. So what he did is he read a book, taught himself how to speed read, and then he I think he made like $2,000 or $3,000. He had like 50 people. He made like $2,500 off of teaching speed reading. And let me ask you this: is that ethical or unethical? Found the market, then developed the product, and then serviced the market and made the revenue. Is that ethical or unethical? Ethical. Well, I knew what my people wanted. They wanted accountability. So my package for Lifeline is full of accountability. It's 4 things. 15 minutes of coaching a week. They get into a private group with support and peer-to-peer support. They get to text me at any time, and they get an emergency phone call. Right? They also get workouts, but the workouts are not custom. They're general workouts. They're paying me $99 a month. I've got like 40 people who are doing that. And yet everyone thinks that they're going to make money off of programming. By the way, guys, I only work with people. I'm only committed to working with people 15 minutes a week. So if I'm working with somebody 15 minutes a week and it's $100 a month, I'm making $100 an hour, right, guys? What's my overhead for that? Somebody tell me my overhead for that. 0. If you got our digital our Nomad product yesterday, then it's all in there, and you're going to learn how to master this. By the way, anyone who's in the Titan group, Inner Circle, you get that product for free. You don't have to pay the $1,000. You get it for free. We start on Monday at noon. Monday at noon, our masterclass starts. We're gonna go ahead and send that out. You'll have all the Titan people. So John, Jared, David, LV, Joe, DC, and Dawn, they're all getting it for free. We're adding that in as a surprise and delight. Dante twisted my arm, said, Birch, give it to him for free. But really, it's a lot of great stuff, and you're going to get to go through 6 weeks of training live with me to learn all of the weird stuff that I know.
So the last question, before we get into, we have some awards to give out. But the last question I have to kind of tie this whole thing together, what would you say to someone who feels that they just need to keep stuffing more and more things into the package to raise the price rather than understanding their own value?
I would say that you're destined for failure, and you don't really know. A part of your job as a gym owner is to maximize your resources for the least amount of expenses. Physical space. How many people can I fit into my class? Well, some people are like, I can only fit 20. What are you talking about? You got 3,000 square feet, you can fit 20 people. What the fuck's wrong with you? Well, everyone has to use a bar. Really? Everyone's got to use a bar in every workout? Well, let's think about Bikram yoga. Here's how smart Bikram yoga is. By the way, anyone know Bikram yoga? Yes or no? Anyone know Bikram yoga? Right? It's probably, I don't know, $500 million a year they probably make. Here's how smart they are. Bikram yoga, their yoga mats, they cut them down by 18 inches. Why do they cut their yoga mats down by 18 inches? Bit more people in the class, right, guys? No, to add more people, not to add more people into the class. That's why. So normally a yoga mat's like 6 feet long. Yoga mat at Bikram is like 4.5. You get more people in the class. That's your job. You have an ethical responsibility in your business to add the most value at the least expense. I will say this one more time. You have an ethical job. Your responsibility in your business is to get the most value at the least cost while providing the most to your clients. There's a workout in CrossFit called the Chief. If you do the Chief workout, does everyone know the Chief workout here? Yes or no? Great. We all know the Chief workout. It involves a barbell. That's it, just a barbell. That workout takes 65 square feet. But if you change it from a barbell workout to a double kettlebell workout, it goes from 65 square feet to 25 square feet. Am I making sense, guys? And if I just reduce the size by more than half of the footprint of that one workout, I could get more people into my gym. That's your job. Your job is not to give. Here's what I think, Dante, about this. I think that for every 2 or 3 people that we should get boxes. Well, we should get this, and we should get that, and we should get this. Those people are trying to get you to make decisions, and they don't know your checkbook. Right? That's not your job. This is what I actually like. This is what I like about Orange Theory. It's set. Everything is set. And we should systematize things more to have it set so we know every class equals X amount of profit. So when you start adding and adding and adding and adding and adding, think about what can you add that actually people want. I'll give you an example. If somebody signs up for a package at your gym, how much does it cost you to add on there that they get to text you? It's a higher price package. They get to text you once a week for emergency phone calls. How much would that cost you? Or they get to text a staff member. How much does that cost you in equipment? How much would it cost you if you, right, John, nothing. If you added in there a feature for your higher price package that you get 15 minutes of my time once a week on the phone. I review your macros and I review your goals. Let me ask you this. Would your clients see value of that? They probably would, especially if you put it down and you talked about it, because what we're going to go over. So John, what we're going to go over on these calls is we're going to talk about not only where you are physically, but we're going to talk about where you are emotionally. We're going to get into the gray matter. This is why these phone calls that I'm putting on this package are so important. Again, guys, it doesn't cost you anything to do that, and you may charge another $60 or $80 a month in that package. Does everyone understand kind of what I'm talking about right now? Do you guys kind of get where my brain is? You need to look for ways. Private group, your private group. If your private group is a killer private group, you need to set that up and add value to that. You don't need to buy more equipment. That's about it on that, guys. Look for things. Take the Bikram yoga way. Make it amazing. Don't buy more stuff. Add more value for what people really want.
Love that. Love that. So we have some gifts to give away for our amazing Mavericks. We came up with an idea, a wallet. Bert, you want to talk about the wallet that we have for a few of these people?
Do you have a photo of it or no?
I don't.
Okay. So anyone who's ever seen the movie Pulp Fiction, raise your hand. If you've seen the movie Pulp Fiction, raise your hand. So some people are going to get a wallet that says "bad motherfucker" on it, right? And Dante, this wallet is for what?
So the first one's for John, for being a veteran and for giving back to the community. He has been super, John, you've been super active in the private group, helping a lot of our newer people out. And on top of that, the video that you created for the orientation has helped a lot of new people as well. So we're going to be sending that out to you next week. The next person we have is Bo. I don't think Bo's on the call with us right now, but Bo, if you're catching the replay, we're going to be sending you a wallet as well with a little gift for sending over a few referrals. As we're looking to grow, of course, we appreciate any referrals that any of you guys send our way. And the last one is for you, Ted, for being a newbie and holy shit, absolutely crushing it. 86% closing rate. Your first, what, week and a half into the program, like absolutely crazy. I haven't seen that high of a closing rate before. You and your team are crushing it. Can't wait to see what you guys are going to do in the next 3 to 4 weeks as we look to really scale into the campaign. And everything's just kind of screaming and being seamless for you. And the award for the best sales trainer. Yeah, it goes to you. All right, good shit. Um, Guys, that's all we got. Britt, do you have anything else?
Um, I want. I just want to leave people with this. You're more amazing than you think. And because you're more amazing, you should win. And if you're coming from this place of being fearful, what would people think if I raised my prices? What would people think if I put out a video? Here's why we're the best. You might get some detractors. Guys, there's actually a private group on Facebook of all my haters. And yet, I know some people who are on this call right here have made at least $500,000, if not closer to $1 million for me. So if there aren't some people out there who want to kill you, you're probably not doing anything really exciting with your life. So you guys are great. You're better than anyone around you. You've proven that because you've committed to a program, and you're going to be working with us. Some of you, hopefully most of you, are going to be working with us in Titan, building up to $1 million. And you're actually more worthwhile than you're actually doing something in the universe. And I just want you to kind of grab onto that and lean into it and be a little bit more fearless, maybe a little bit more bravado. I might have too much bravado. I mean, I'm wearing a Donald Trump shirt. I mean, I might have too much bravado. But just live life fearlessly, guys. I have a ton of respect for people here. And I just want to say I'm proud of you. And Dante, I appreciate you for letting me have some camera time today.
Yeah, cool. I appreciate you being on the call, sharing and imparting your wisdom. You have worked with a lot of gyms, and I really appreciate you always taking the time to go above and beyond for all the people that we're working with. Team, we have done great together. We have a lot of work to do. And I'm going to be sending this video out to you guys if you guys need the replay. And then look out for those gifts as well for all the people that won. But yeah, hope you guys have an amazing Friday, and we'll see you soon.
Kill it, guys. Rock it. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye, Hunter.